All right. So, back with another edition of Show Shared Slasher, everybody. I have another brand new import release. So, coming from Australia once again. Becoming a very frequent buyer of this label. That's Umbrella Entertainment, all the way from Australia. So, their stuff takes anywhere from 7 to 14 days to get for me. But, everything arrives nicely packaged. No damage, nothing, going missing so far. So, knock on wood for that. But Sean, I think you'll like this one. This is a follow-up release to something I've done previously, and let's just dive right into it. I have the brand new Blu-ray Collector's Edition release of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Part 2. So, and very
Nice.
similar. Yeah. So I had to go ahead and get the sequel. And I'll get into the movie a little bit as well while I'm kind of going through this whole collector's edition. But in typical fashion from Umbrella, this is a website exclusive. So if you want this particular version, you do have to go directly through them. This came in around $55. Shipping to me was an additional, maybe I think almost 15 or 20. So I'm coming in all in about $70 for this. Shipped right to my door. As I mentioned, website exclusive. Very much in the fashion of the first one that I did. So it has this storybook style outside rigid case. They again went with the quotes on the back, so I will get into reading those. They are just as funny as the first. We'll get into the box in a second, but as you can see, once again, they did the book style pages on the top bottom of the case. So I'm really liking this kind of kid storybook direction that they're going with the packaging. So kudos to Umbrella for that. We do get another children's storybook entailing the events of the movie. There's a lot of cool artwork in here, so we'll come back to the book in a moment. I do want to go in through everything for all you guys. We have another big stack of art cards here. Half movie shots and half illustrations like they did the first time around. So I like the consistency with that. It's very on par with the first release. And then we have the Blu-ray right here. That is, I believe, your movie poster or one of a few movie posters. And then our back cover is a nice shot from the movie and a couple of smaller shots down bottom. I believe movie synopsis, specs, and special features. So let's really quickly come back to the storybook. I like the cover art, very reminiscent of a very old Winnie the Pooh book. So very cool to go with that for the cover art. I hate this glare. There we go. That is your opening page. And then once again, it's a real short story, children's style with the artwork. You got Tigger, Pooh, and Piglet there. And hard to see, but Al is perched up on the corner in the tree. And then just
I
once
cannot
again,
tell you how much I love.
yeah,
Like I know I did this on the first one too, but like
hmm
to present it that way, children's book
yeah,
style, like that's
yeah,
such
it's
awesome
so cool.
quality.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I'll pay for this website exclusive. And honestly, I always put the shipping cost to the side. Like I consider that something separate. So if I'm only paying $55 to get something like this, you get into collecting and these different releases and stuff, you kind of learn where your budget is kind of satisfactory for you. So I just love these images. They're very children's book esque, but they're also they're gory. They're adult oriented content. So gotta love when Umbrella does stuff like this. I hope this continues. I know they have plans to do a big universe with this movie. There's definitely plans for a Blood and Honey 3. It's teased at the end of the second movie, so we will eventually get a third part, and that is the back shot of the book, and it's just all the characters in their glory having dinner of some severed body parts. So you can't beat that. But yeah, very cool. Once again with the kids book. Out of our cards here, I'm gonna try to slip a couple of these out of the band because there were 16 to cover. But for anybody who was concerned about Piglet, he does show up in the second movie. He is quote unquote killed off in the first one, but makes his return here. That was something I kind of predicted. I thought they might save him and bring him back. So he does show up in part 2. Here is one of the better looks at Tigger. I think they approached the Tigger character really, really well. Little bit of CGI. I think they only use it for the tail, but the practical effects and the prosthetics and the makeup that they did for all the characters, you can definitely see the budget come into play in the second movie compared to the first one. Here, I believe you have Pooh has someone trapped, or is that Tigger? I think that might be Tigger. I think he has someone trapped in a sort of like a cage near the end of the movie. So that's another good shot there. Silhouette shot, very simple, but very cinematic. Looks really good. Then this is kind of a interesting part. This is young Christopher Robin and a young version of Winnie the Pooh from the movie. I'm not too thrilled with how he kind of came off in the second movie, but the inclusion of a, bringing this story up from his youth and then kind of what it develops into, I think it was a good approach to kind of get a little bit of backstory. So not terrible. Here is a new depiction of Christopher Robin in the second movie. He was recast. I will get into why, because the first movie and second movie are kind of treated differently this time around. So that's Christopher Robin. We finally have a really good look here of Al. So I think Al came out really, really well. There's a lot of people kind of mentioning, he kind of looks like the Jeepers Creepers monster. I'm going to bring that in. That screams Freddy Krueger to me. I don't know about anybody else, but that there, for me, read like Freddy Krueger all day. Oddly enough, though, I think Tigger has more characteristics of Freddy Krueger than the Owl. Finally, we have a shot there of Pooh
I don't want to
in
get
his
some
chair.
hate for this. Sorry to go back to
Yeah.
your that last
Mhm.
one you showed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like a cross between Freddy Krueger and if you've seen the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie from many, many years
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
Ivan Ooze.
Oh, what a callback. I haven't watched that movie in years, probably since I was a kid. So I would have to look it up to kind of get the comparison, but I don't doubt it. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I think Tigger had more characteristics of Freddy Krueger, but the look I think is on par with the Owl. Then we get into the illustrations here. I believe all of these are in the kids' book that I just went through. So these I can breeze through really quick. I don't think there's anything really all that different for the illustrations. So we'll just give a quick glance on these. These are at least better, less glossy shots. This is Tigger with someone's leg. Yeah, this is Pooh getting his head split open. Another one of Pooh the victim. And then a shot of Pooh himself. But this is very reminiscent of the first movie, which is a different look. So this is an interesting one, but nonetheless, I'll take it. And then the final is Al ripping someone's throat apart. Can't beat that. So that covers the art cards and the storybook. Let's come back to the case. Let's go over these quotes. So these quotes this time around, coming from Brendan Pike. It's a twisted perversion of beautiful children's stories. No respect for anything sacred. People have to tarnish everything. Sorry you feel that way, Brendan. Not even beautiful childhood storybook characters who helped shape us into who we are, safe from modern depravity. The existence of these films is heartbreaking. That comes from Marco Wolf. What happened to my boy Winnie? Short and sweet from Todd Huber. And WTF, what the fuck? Making childhood storybooks into horrors. There's going to be nothing left for kids to even watch or read soon without being terrified. That comes from Boyd Armstrong. So yet again, we have some very pissed off, people about these movies being made. I'm just going to throw it out there that these are fiction. These are movies. Get over it. So that covers the back quotes. Special feature wise, we have Behind the Score. So that's another feature. By the way, I have not watched this yet since I've seen it in theaters. So I'm looking forward to getting into this Blu-ray and diving into the special features because I love all the behind the scenes stuff. It's a big reason that I even do these show shared slashes for you guys is because I love to get into the behind the scenes. So we have Behind the Score. behind the scenes with Pooh. We have some audition tapes. We have interviews. We have a death scene extended. We have some on-set footage and behind the scenes on set at the rave. Okay, so to explain the rave really quick, that's basically the end of the movie. You have, I believe, all four of the main characters coming into a party rave-like setting in looks kind of like an old shutdown or rundown warehouse. So that's where the climax takes place. It's where a lot of the body count comes from. So I love the ending. This movie it's interesting compared to the first. The first one was very goofy, kind of like let's just do a Winnie the Pooh slasher movie. Not much of a plot to it. It was four girls, on vacation for the weekend in a house that end up getting attacked by these humanoid, animals. We do find out how that happened in the second one, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the first one, very silly, kind of goofy, just kind of turn your brain off, stupid slasher movie. The second one, they take a much more serious direction with. So they kind of set up more of a backstory, more of a plot. It comes off a little slow in the beginning, but it eventually kind of gets you to the end. And I would say the rave scene and the climax is probably the most fun. So that's your prize, I would say, for making it all the way to the end of the movie. Oddly enough, like I mentioned earlier, the first movie and this movie are kind of separate. Reason being, what they did, which I think it was kind of a smart decision, they went ahead and took the first movie and think of Scream and Stab. They took the first movie and made that a movie within this movie. So there is a scene where it's very much a nod to typical horror slashers, where you have a babysitter, a young kid. It's getting close to the kid's bedtime, but he's in his living room on the couch. He's watching a movie, and the movie on that screen is the first Blood and Honey. So they took the idea to go and take the first movie and make it the movie that was made based on the events that happened in the town, which kind of separates it from this movie, where you still have kind of the same thing going on, but the looks of the characters are so drastically different that I think that was the good approach to take. You kind of take the first one where the characters look so different. Let's make it a movie within the movie, and we'll kind of start here with a little bit of a clean slate, and they'll move forward from that. Minor spoiler warning here if you want to mute it or turn away for a second. There's a way for these characters to reanimate. That is how Piglet came back. That's how I believe Pooh, I think he takes a pretty severe injury in this, so he will make his return in Blood and Honey 3. And the way they do that is the honey. The honey is it's their healing kind of plot tool, I guess I'll call it. But that is what they did with the honey. So they took just their food source and turned it into kind of a healing product here. So yeah, that's a little bit of a backstory on Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and this coming from Umbrella Entertainment, I think a great and worthy collector's edition on Blu-ray. Like I said, it matches the first one, and I hope this stuff continues.
Well, there you have it. That is Show, Share, and Slash with Mr. Mean Dean Renner tonight. Pooh and Honey 2. I didn't even know that had already made its way to physical media. That's how far behind I am. It's easy to lose time, people. Let us know what you thought in the comment section down below, not just of the physical media piece, but the movie itself. And share your thoughts there. We would love to hear what you have to say and get some good engagement going on down there. Just want to thank our channel sponsors for supporting us. Mr. Jesse's Storytime Spectacular, Backtrack Cinema, Chris C_78, if you want a Myers Mask done, Ryan at Colleague Nation, and Whitfield Productions. That is going to do it for this episode of Show, Share, and Slash, though. Until next time, we'll see you again in Haddonfield and beyond.